Hi there, this is Donna Berry. I'm coming to you today with a separate video. My live time got messed up, so all the people who signed up either missed it or I was too early. I don't know. But Mountain Standard Time in Arizona is not the same as Mountain Standard Time. It's an hour earlier, something like that. I don't know. It was 12:30 by Lori Wagner, and it was 11:30 by me, and it was supposed to be at 12 according to the Facebook thing. So what it is. It was my first live, so it was great practice. I can't seem to be able to share it, so I'm going to just make a new one real quick. The reason this journal is in front of you is because today we're going to talk about snippets. You all asked about my snippets and how I had made them. And we are talking about these, if you can see them without the confusion of the book. These are the ones I had made. Here's a purple one. I cut this one. We'll talk about that in a little bit, what you can do with that. So what I wanted to talk about was this is my very first journal from 2024. And I learned about snippets from YouTube, which you can find all over the place. But my first learnings were from Shanuki Art. And she's just so talented. But anyway, I made a lot of snippets in this journal. So I want to show you some of them. The idea behind snippets is it's a snip of the pieces, snips of the pieces that are in your journal. So basically they're to enhance or highlight or pull together everything that you've put in your journal. So I have quite a few in here. Some of them are on both sides. And you can see they're all the colors that were in here in my journal. They are, let's go over here. Then you can embellish them. You can do all kinds of things. These are just torn pieces of paper in this instance. So they're a little different from the little torn pieces I did that I showed you earlier and that you've seen on my post that you had asked for a tutorial. So that is the, let's call it the original snippets, if you will, that I had ever made. So thanks for letting me share that. That is definitely over a year old now. It was my very first one. So back to these, you can see I clipped this one already. These are 12. My book is 8 and a quarter, 8.5. So what you can do when you do that, because there's no reason not to just go ahead and keep filling the whole thing up, is use it on the bottom of your page. Use it on the top, or cut it and make clusters with it. It's great to have all this extra since you're already going to all this trouble. Something else I would remind you of, you may want to put your lace on after you're ready to use the snippet, because this is going to go on a, let's see what side, right side page. This is the left side page. And, you know, you're kind of stuck with that. Except I got around that in my latest journal. I really needed a blue one, and it was on the wrong side. So I just took another piece of lace and went down this side and just made it wider. Again, these can be any width you want or any length. I'm just cutting like 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch strips and gluing onto them. So that's what you get here. So once this is on the page, you don't see any of this, all of this stuff. I'll get back to something about that in a little bit here. So these are the ones you saw in my post that you'd asked for a tutorial on. Now here I put this one together already, but I'm going to show you real quick what I do. Basically, I tear these little circular pieces out with my thumb. I just go around like this, you know, and I get them as round as I can. And I try to mix up the paper so that it's not just all like pink like this. So this is all I had left after I did this. But, you know, you're making a collage, essentially. So that's all you're doing, and you're gluing it down. And you come up, you get this. And you can just put this aside. After you tear and ink it, then glue it, then put it aside, and when you're ready to use it, put the lace on it. Or just put the lace on it and just know that eventually you can put another piece on it if you need it. Now real quick, just to show you how I tear these, I just kind of pinch around my finger until I kind of get a circle and it's not exactly right. Then I just kind of tear just a little bit more. And again, look at them. They're not all even. They're not all perfectly round. Then I make a whole bunch of these like this. And then I just start gluing them on. Or I ink them, glue them on. So that's how you make this type of snippet, how you use it. Now you can use it as a belly band. Again, a belly band, I'd put another piece of lace. You can use it, if you made it wider, you can glue it on and make it a tuck. And you can use it also as a bookmark. The thing with that is you're gonna wanna put something on the back, okay? So that's some of the other uses for these little snippet rolls, if you will. Speaking of rolls, I really just wanna show you this. I've seen somebody do this and I thought it was kind of cool. You take your scraps and you roll out yourself a piece of shipping tape and you just stick it on there. And then when the little pieces flip up, you just take your glue stick and glue it down. And then you make yourself a little roll. You can go this way or that way, it doesn't matter. You know, I think it goes better this way. And roll it up and put it in your stash and keep adding to the tape. And pretty soon you're gonna have a whole lot of cluster material and a whole lot of snippet material that you can cut out or pinch out or tear out. So I thought that was a kind of a cool way to come up with them. Now you can make them out of tickets. Easy peasy, I guess. These are really very grungy. I'm not a ticket person, but I wanted to show you that, you know, your imagination is your imagination. Just come up with anything. When you glue this down, if you didn't use lace, which I don't know that I'd use lace on the tickets, but you will see some of this. But what are we talking about here? A junk journal. So you're gonna see it. So what? Here's another one. I just did this with some little bunny rabbit pictures I had. And then I threw on numbers and buttons and words and all that kind of stuff, little tags and such. I probably wouldn't put lace on this either. So again, you're probably gonna see part of it. I would just ink it, or maybe I'd just use this one as a belly band. Okay. And let's see, we have another one that's similar. This guy, a little bit thinner. Again, it's just words and pieces and paper and book page, you name it. Just, it's collage on a strip, basically. Okay. Something else you can do, make it a little wider so you can get the whole print on. Use washi tape. Make yourself a wider, like this is probably 1.5 inches, not quite 2. I'm not sure how wide it is. I'm not going to get out the ruler. But make it as wide as you want so you can see the washi tape. And please forgive my washi tape here. I didn't have very many cohesive colors or things that went together. I just threw them on here. If you use it for a belly band, use it as a tuck. If you use it like kind of a snippet kind of thing to stick out on, it's just on the side of the page, you might want lace. You know, just remember you're going to see the back in some instances, so be careful with that. The other thing I did with my washi tape is I always tape stuff that sticks out on anything I do. I just tape it down with clear tape so that if you're sticking something in and out of here, it's not going to get caught on anything. And then if you have just a silly purple and pink, crazy, whatever kind of journal, make yourself something like that. Make it with the shapes and just coordinate them. These are bigger, medium, small, and just make something crazy. Go wild. And also lace. Make it with lace. These are all just bits of lace that I just glued on here. I didn't have a lot of flat lace, so I used some, you know, ruffled lace, which is fine. And I just put a little border on it. And that's going to go in to some journal at some point. And probably be a tuck even. But I ran out of pink, or I could have gone all the way around and made a bookmark. But whatever. It's just the idea is the materials you can use are endless. Okay? And last but not least, mini envelopes. So make some mini envelopes. Just mass make, all different sizes. These are like 1/2 inch up to, 1 3/4 or maybe 1 1/2, and just mass make them, color coordinate them to match your journal. Leave the bigger ones or a few open so you can put a little card in there. Seal up the rest. You know, again, I don't know about lace on this, but it's still, what's going to show on the side is this. So big deal, right? I had to put an extra one back here though. It just felt off up there. Anyway, that is the end of Snippets, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for coming.